think would stop something like, having like the NHS in America in the next 5 years? What is standing in the way of it happening?
It's really just getting Americans past their fear. They've been manipulated with fear that if we have your system, the next step is we're going to go communist. I mean, really, it's this, and I think too that the Republicans in our country, they run on a platform of government is bad, big government is evil, and doesn't work. They get elected then, and then spend the next 4 years ensuring that big government doesn't work. Your system, in spite of its flaws and the problems that you have with it, primarily, being underfunded, actually works in some weird, strange way. And what would prevent America from doing that? I don't know. I love the British way of doing this. Now, some people I've worked with on the film, they like the Canadian way better. Others like the French way better. I mean, there's different ways to do this. But I happen to think yours may be the best way.
Now, of course, you've been investigated by the US Treasury.
Yes.
The timing has been very sort of helpful for you in a lot of ways. I mean, have you got someone inside the US Treasury that sort of handed it out so you get the free publicity?
Well, I know this looks like it really is a good thing for the film. But you have to remember, I'm the individual under investigation, and it's a real investigation, and it has real criminal and civil penalties attached to it. So I take it very seriously. I don't appreciate it one single bit. I don't like the harassment, and I'm not going to tolerate it. So as far as them helping the movie with this, I don't know what they're thinking. They could have done this to me 6 months or a year from now, long after the movie's gone, and not helped the movie and hurt me. They could have got both. Instead, they decided, I don't know, they were sitting around last week going, hey, he's going to Cannes. Maybe we should try and do something about that. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know.
Do you feel, because lots of filmmakers come out with documentaries. Do you feel, do you feel persecuted, just personally? Because, why, by the government, you must feel sort of something like that,
Well, I'm willing to accept the fact that I have been one of the chief critics of the Bush administration, and millions of people follow my work. And I can understand why Mr. Bush is upset by that. So I accept the fact that he will use whatever tools he has available to try and stop me. I don't like it, and I'll resist it. But I go into this knowing that that's the possible consequence.
Now, you've also got lots of other critics, people making films about you, like Debbie Melnick and such, these haters. I think they should be spending their time doing other things, like doing stuff which, dealing with issues. But, what would your message be to them? Well,
yeah, there's about, 10 or so documentaries now that have been made about me by people. I don't know who's funding them or whatever. They're all these hate Michael Moore documentaries. It's very funny, isn't it? And I think it'd be worth an investigation as to who's behind all that, frankly. It's what can I say? I'm going after people in power, and people in power are going to fight back, and they're going to use surrogates to do a lot of that fighting. And so they'll say things about me, and they'll make things up, and no one will challenge them. But I don't really pay any attention to that, because I trust that the American people and the people around the world know my work, and they know that I come from a very truthful and honest place. And I'm showing you things that sometimes the local media, the nightly news isn't showing you.
Now, of course, one of the biggest problems, especially with the system of the medical system, is basically the big corporate giants, as we were saying. Now, also, how corporate are you? Because you obviously make a lot of money with your films and stuff like that. But how corporate would you say that you are? It's Michael more than the franchise, the brand, I suppose.
I never think about it in that way. I don't really have much of a business. I just employ people, a few people to help me make these films. So. I make sure that they all have very good health care.